Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity 2. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today as we go to Wamoru's, Wamoru the Pretender. And I think I probably should give Shodi a weapon. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea? That's a good idea. She's not a fighter, so she doesn't have the thing that actually changes her stuff when she's fighting. So it doesn't matter too much. And right now she has her lantern, so I suppose I could give her the sickle. But the sickle is melee, so I don't want that. Did you have the whale's wand? This was... Yeah, let's give you this. Temporarily, just so you don't go out of your way to be weird. Also, yeah... This is a new weapon that Takeo has. Although, this is what I really want. So it's all a big mess. It's all a big mess in regards to our inventory right now. But we'll make do. It's gonna be amazing. Because today we're getting Woodika's Strangling Grasp. We're out in the middle of the boonies, really. Well, I say that. But, yeah, this is more or less towards the final area of the game. I have this bit over here that I haven't found. Where is the final area of the game? Isn't it over here somewhere? Well, we still need to go down there again. Is it down here? No, we were over here. No, we were over here. Right. Okay, yeah. It's gonna be a while until we go back. And also, there's a lot of things that we haven't fought or we haven't finished. This, for sure, and I think... literally insane. And I think there's some other stuff up there that I haven't killed yet. And in fact, when we're looking for these items, we might be going there. Now, in between episodes, I did manage to level Maya up, and I should have. But the problem is I can't access the level up screen unless we're in maps like this. So I need to level her up. Give me a little bit. And she's good. Thanks, Maya. Let's go. We said at the same time. I actually said a little bit earlier, but on the final mix, I always am a little bit later, I think. Wamoru the Pretender. We're not where we're supposed to be in regards to the thing that I said we were gonna find. However, we might have a mission for this. No, we don't. It's just a person out here pretending. I don't like many things. Oh, I don't like many things. Let's,
What do you need?
I need you to aggro those. Can you shout at them and be like, "Oi, you jerks."
Right.
It's a Mempigra. Or Mempugra, whatever. Yeah. I want you back here. Okay, they're slowish. There's things being weird. No, we're good. Just slow. More or less slow. That is, everybody's very slow. This is really interesting. Except for the bog bat, as you would expect, considering it's a bog bat and it's a bat. So let's get some of my favorites over in there. How about this? Let's get some of that over in here. Now, we're not following ideal strategies or anything, but it's good enough for the moment. That dragon is mean. I don't like it. You are also not necessarily using the right... well, he's not tanking. I wonder... Yeah, that's not good enough. That's nowhere near as powerful as he was before. But he doesn't have a shield on this build. I would need to give him that, which gives him... still needs to be upgraded. And in fact, most of my weapons still need to be upgraded. I'm just running by the seat of my pants. Let's put it like that. Let's just let the auto pause tell me when a spell has been cast, and a spell has been cast. We got Devotion of the Faithful. Wait, that's the one that decreases... How? Oh, the Champion's Wound, right. Devotion of... That's the one. I was gonna say, how do I keep mixing these up? I do, because the icons are very similar to each other, and I am also very dumb. But that's a different thing altogether. Why is that? Did you use a Relentless Storm from something else? Maybe. Potentially. They're using their AI to do my job. I think that takes away from the enjoyment of the game, honestly. But I'm gonna let it be for right now because we're not fully set up. So I think, and also, you know, I've never done this. I've never played this game, or the previous game for that matter, with AI that uses class abilities. KO. Good job. And we're taking a lot of damage. And because of that, because of me having never played, that is killed. Yeah. I suppose it's also a good thing that we're seeing it, because it's part of the game, and you're watching the game. You're watching the Let's Play for many possible reasons. One of them could be just to see how the game is. Although, by episode 230 something, ooh, Amina's Legacy. Unfortunately, I don't need that. Nobody uses hunting bows in our team. Bounding boots, superb leather armor. I am missing some boots, by the way. I'm missing specifically boots of stone. I think Penumbra has boots of stone. She's the only one, yeah. This is probably the best kind of boots, because it resists might afflictions, which is just great, because it makes you immune to being stunned, and also adds a little bit of other things that are nice. Then Penumbra is probably the one that doesn't care as much for, let's try this. Care as much for, might as well move it then. There it is. For dexterity and stun resistance and whatnot. Or stun immunity, rather. There we go. Ixianath all the time. And we have a little bit of Dank Spores. Okay. Yeah, that's just a little snag in our... It's not a snag, it's like a detour in our adventure. Now, as I was saying before, we're going for the 66 degrees, 24 minutes, I want to say? 24 seconds? It's over there. It's over here. Let's save, just in case bad things happen. You come upon the site of an ancient battle. A ratty standard snaps in the breeze, its color bleached by the sun. And you search and find Woodika's strangling grasp. You find a small trinket in one of the bodies' packs. And a fine spear. And a scepter. And a stun bomb. A few of them, in fact. And that's lovely. Because that is... No, that's not. What? Sort by freaking... Oh, it's over here, sorry. Woodika's strangling grasp. This thing adds might. Grants Garrote or Garrote. Choke the target, paralyzing them and dealing raw damage over time. When the effect ends, the target is proned. And also adds burn armor rating, which is a thing. So it's pretty good. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty great. My might is really low, so this actually might make a difference. Let's see. 4 to 7 on my current weapon. And that goes 4 to 7. 4.2 to 6.9. And on this one is 3.9 to 6.7. Yeah. It's, that's just the Frost Seeker, alright. It doesn't... That's a really rubbish... How does that... Why is it so bad? I do need to enchant it, specifically with Garlad's Breath, and there's a bunch of other things that these weapons were chosen for specifically because of their abilities, and doing that takes a long, long time. So again, Jung has been MVP right now, and in helping me out with all this stuff. Anyway, where are we going next? Let me figure it out. We need to go to Pococohara. How curious. Let's go over there instead, because... Well, not instead, before. Let's go over there before, because I need to go over there. What do we have over here? Just some Dao going around. Actually, Dao is the type of ship. Principi, I think. Yep, Principi Senpai Trena, which is basically princes without fathers? Could be without parents. Although, I don't know. They have a different translation for it. We have something else over here as well, on our way to Pococohara, which is great, because Pococohara has been explored already, and this hasn't. So we're gonna name another island, Wenura Cleft. The jungle grows increasingly dense as you travel east. The shade provided by the canopy above does little to mitigate the heat. Moisture and the perpetual choir of insects thicken the air. The path rises to a sharp incline, and your legs ache as you ascend. Slowly, the jungle thins, and you find yourself atop a long ridge. Before you spreads a yawning chasm. It stretches from the mountains in the north towards the sea to the south, and you can't make out the bottom for the darkness. Curiously, A rope spans the divide, and we can study it with our good history. It's a 3-strand twisted rope, much like those purveyed by any number of merchants across Eora. It seems surprisingly clean and unworn, easily strong enough to bear the weight of the heaviest kith. The craftsmanship is likely Reacher, perhaps the Wooden or Valian. Yeah, she's very good at knowing ropes. It's a that's not, yeah. The divide is vast, the crossing would be strenuous, and a fall fatal. Well, we can try to search the surrounding area. We do have a little bit of that. There's nothing overly suspicious, certainly no signs of traps. Recent footprints crowd the rocks the rope is anchored to, though. Kith and Ogre both. Several sets, it looks like. Let's take advantage of the view, and I'm not really sure what that means, but I think I'm just going to look at it. From the top of the cliff, you can look back over the western expanse of the island. The Deadfire shimmers blue towards the horizon, the islands of Kuaorikuhu just visible to the south. You can even make out the Astute at anchor in the distance. It's as if the entire eastern side of the island was forced up out of the ground, or perhaps the western half sank into the sea. Or, to the northeast, a thin line of smoke rises from the jungle. I don't suppose you know what this place is? That would be maybe Maya? No, actually, Takeo. Takeo peers over the edge. He promptly steps back and shivers. What about you, Maya? The yawning chasm? Why? Do you give it a name and see if it catches on? Or why don't you give it a name and see? Yeah. And she shrugs. Shori? Sorry, no idea, she says. What about you there? Sure, it's a good place to test the rope. Okay, let's cross the rope then. The rope creaks as you grab hold and shimmy out onto it. And ellipses only have 3 dots. And that's not an ellipses. You pull yourself across, hand by hand, until you hang suspended over the gorge. Your muscles tingle and your hands burn, and you've got further left to go than you've already crossed. So that was a success for Adair. We're going to keep going. Adair's going to keep going, I suppose. You continue across the gorge, your sweat dripping into the abyss below. At last you reach the safety of the far side. And Adair did? Or did we all? I think we all did. Beyond the canyon, the jungle opens up into a broad field interspersed with huge fruit-dotted trees. The jungle continues towards the mountains to the north, but to the southeast, the Deadfire is visible above a sharp decline towards the shore. What draws your eyes, however, the tree from Gilded Vale, one would think, maybe, is the sight that rises before you. One of the trees, blackened and blistered by flame, hosts a number of Aumaua-sized corpses suspended by the neck. You see that, right, Watcher? It's probably Adair talking. I'm not caught in another nightmare, am I? Nope, that's Shodi. Yep. Shodi's eyes track from corpse to corpse, and a wince steals across her face. Hey, I'm not dreaming this, right? This is Adair. Look, if I wanted to see this kind of thing, I'd have stayed home. His mouth is firm, and he diverts his attention to the ground nearby. Nearby, movement and voices grab your attention. You see, of all people, 4 members of your crew standing around the base of the tree. We should bury them. It's what they would want, and what the gods demand, Eld Engrim growls. Sure, Baltia answers. Right after we finish going through their pockets. They don't have pockets, Irina says, strictly speaking, she says. Amani frowns up at the tree. Is anyone else worried about who did this? It clearly wasn't Beast or Kith. You're suggesting an ogre wouldn't hang a bunch of corpses, Baltia asks, because these look like ogre prints to me. Eyes wide, Eld Engrim snaps to attention. Captain! Yeah, I think this is a vision of some sort. What are you doing out here? Baltia coughs. We were out gathering supplies for the Astute, Captain, just as we always do when we're docked. The hand points at the tree. This seemed worth investigating. Find anything interesting? Arms crossed, Baltia frowns at the ground. Not yet. We haven't been here long enough to take a good look around. That's not entirely true, says Amani. Look at the wounds on these folk and the rope used to string them up. It all suggests raiders from the Eastern Reach. Baltia sighs. There you go again, showing off for the captain. How'd you even get here? Irina looks slightly flummoxed by the question. We're sailors, Captain. Climbing is part of the job. Besides, Baltia chimes in, there was a rope. The line over the gorge wasn't yours, then? No, Captain, Imani answers with a shake of the head. I doubt any of us even own rope that doesn't belong to the astute. I own a rope, Baltia grumbles. It's 8 feet long and in fine condition, thank you. It's good. It's good rope to carry around, just in case. I also own a rope, now that I think about it. It's 30 feet long and in fine shape as well, except it's nylon instead of... I don't actually know what they're made out of, the ropes that, you know, maybe these ropes are... specifically sailing ropes, they're made out of a different thing. I mean, historically, maybe not these days. I actually don't know what nylon is. I know it's a material, I know how it feels like, and I've seen it in many different forms. I just don't know what it's made out of. I don't think it's plastic, though. I'm pretty sure it's not plastic. Like in, you know, oil-derived material. Because it evidently is of plastic qualities, but it's just... Anyway. Don't you think you should be getting back to the ship? Baltia winces, but Imani snaps out a salute. Hi, Captain, right away! With only a few glances back, the four wander off towards the gorge. And they lose 5 morale. All of them lose 5 morale. You move towards the tree. Vultures perched among its branches peer down at you like judges presiding over a court. Let's search the area first. I'm very good at this. Because of... What? No, go away. While the clothing these Aomao wear resembles that of the Huana, they favor hides and leathers over cloth and shell. Excuse the hiccup. Some were stabbed before they were hanged, bearing wounds consistent with daggers or swords. A few have had their throat slit. Few have burn marks. The tree was clearly burned before they were killed. Let's search for the presence of spirits here. You see the spirits at the edge of your vision, almost without trying. When you open yourself to their presence, they wash over you, a torrential rush of blistering pain and icy fear. The foreign kith jostle you with shoulder and elbow, prod you with blade and spear. Their armor, too heavy for the Deadfire, shines in the firelight as if they were virtuous. You spit. No, there's no virtue in these godless raiders. They killed the young druid. They broke the elders' staffs and stole the doctor's herbs. Now they burn Amira's tree. Amira, oh right, Helia. Or what they call Helia. We just have to say a different name, but it's canonically different as well, so I suppose. Anyway, will it ever again host every color known to God or Kith against the perfect azure dome of the sky? You pray it will. You pray to Amira, to Ngati, to Rikuhu, Kohopa, and Tangaloa both, and to the faces of Toamao Hai. We haven't heard of this one yet. They really are sticking with that whole thing of them having... I rambled about that. I'm not going to ramble about it again, but having different gods inspired by the same actual entities. Which is also a little bit weird, because we never... Because this implies... Yeah, it's a little bit weird. There's a subtext there that you could read into if you care to. But this implies that they're wrong about their gods. And the Woodens, for example, are not. Or I say Woodens, but anybody else in the first game are not. Because, let's see. So we know Amira over here. I can right-click. So, one of the most important deities of the traditional Huana pantheon, Amira is a bird goddess who hatched the world from an egg. The Huana often worship her as Helia. So, that text over there is a little bit vague. You can draw supreme conclusions about it, but think of analogous gods between the Greek and the Romans, for example, like Mars and... oh, dang it, I don't know the Greek god of war, or one of the Greek gods of war. But what would be the equivalent? I know Mercury, though. Do I know Mercury? I do, I think. Nike and Mercury would be two analogous gods. And it's in popular culture. It's not popular culture, but I guess it's the common misconception that they are the same god and they just sort of have different names. Like Zeus and Jupiter or whatnot. The details don't matter here for the example, but the point is, we think of them as maybe one entity, not really in the sense that we think of Helia as an entity in this game, because of course in this game it exists, and we're talking about just real-life religions, but anyway, the point is, we look at Amira and we say, oh, that's what they call Helia. But they look at Helia and they say, oh, that's what they call Amira. And that's what I meant when I say they're wrong about Helia, or Amira, because Helia is the real name. So it would be interesting, especially in this game, in the second game, where we start to... Well, in the first game we already had these things, it just wasn't given much thought to... we already had these names in the first game, but it's just in books and whatnot. The point is, it would be interesting if we look at different representations of the same being, and maybe we found out, like, the real name... the obsession with real name is something that really doesn't matter, but, like, we call her Helia, but she's really called something else among the gods or something, you know what I mean? Or she's just... our perception and our praise of Helia is not really what it is, because their perception of Helia is not really what it is. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting, but no, it's just sort of they got the wrong gods, or not really the wrong gods, but you know what I mean. The wrong names at the very least, but every other thing as well. What more can these foreigners take from you? You wonder as they cut lengths of rope off. The vision ends abruptly, washing away like water over the side of the ship's deck. Want to put that lamp of yours to use, Shorty? With a solemn nod, the Dawn Star raises her lantern. A harsh swing, and then the light from inside bursts like a dying star as she reaps the spirit of the lost. And I can bury the bodies. Or burn the bodies. I don't know what... Do I know what one I like? Not that it matters, mind you. Let's burn the bodies, because it doesn't matter. You collect and wrap the remains, and then gather tinder and kindling. Oh, tinder is a thing? I know Tinder, but it's like kindling. Is it Tinder? Yeah, it is. Isn't it? I think so. Obviously not the app. Anyway, you gather the tinder and kindling to build a small bonfire. As the bodies burn, you try not to breathe too deeply of the smoke from the smoldering flesh. Among the sooty detritus of the departed, you uncover a pair of sandals with a palpable aura of power. And I was actually looking for these. Not, right now, but I was definitely looking for these. That's very nice. You gained an item, footprints of Ahu Taka. The item was put in the stash. Thanks. And you cross the clearing, leaving the morbid tree behind and re-enter the jungle. What a curious encounter. I liked that. So this is for priests, which would mean that it's for Shodi. And she doesn't have shoes, which would mean that this is probably... Yeah, that's definitely what it is. So these humble sandals once belonged to the Rawatai priest of Ahu Taka, who kept no home and had no family. And he just had his badass sandals, because that adds to healing done, which is pretty nice. Extra dexterity and +1 cast level spells at level 2. Cast priest spells at level 2. So it's pretty great, and I think is she nodding? Did you see her nod a little bit? It was the animation breaking, I think. But that's very nice. Let's go to this abandoned village. I'm not really sure how we're going to go to the abandoned village. We're not going to go to the abandoned village from there anyway. And we have an isolated beach. Not beast. Although it might be a beast. Oh. As you make your way along the road, you notice the light dimming, as if a shadow had fallen over you. You glance around, unsure of where it's coming from. The air feels thick, pregnant with unseen energy. The road ahead looks clear, but you have been deceived by appearances before. Yeah, and I'm gonna investigate my surroundings, because we're very good at that. A large stone stands just off the road, and your head swims as you approach it. Behind it, you locate an unusual collection of bones and sticks, a small wilder totem that glows balefully, its power disturbing the essence around it. And we have a Wardstone of Darkness to use on the totem. We don't lose it, hopefully. You move to the totem, stone held high, and stand before it, allowing the essence around it to enshroud you in inky darkness. The ringing resolves into sibilant whispers, perhaps the murmuring of myriad wandering souls. When you open your eyes, your vision has cleared, and a large naga looms before you. A crest frames its head, and bones and bits of coral hang from the leather thongs around its neck. Its forked tongue flickers out as it peers at you. Is that how they? I don't. Is that how they smell? I think that's how they smell. The flicking of the tongue, from snakes. I've known that, but I forget. What is this totem exactly? The naga peers at you with cool, intelligent eyes. It says nothing. And by intelligent, we mean dumb, because we're not considering it... it's intelligent for an animal, so it's dumb. We merely wish to pass in peace. You don't say much, do you? Ah, well. As you begin to move, the whispers become again loud and discordant, and darkness clouds your sight. You hear the naga hissing as they move in to attack. And we're gonna kill them all. That's just how it is. But we're gonna do it next episode because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pillars of Eternity 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.